Happy Sunday, January 25th, 2026, everybody. It's good to have you here. So got some news for you. The winter storm is officially on its way out. We'll take a look at the latest of what Paducah has sent. They issued an advisory about an hour ago. Take a look at that. We'll take a look at what it's going to be like in the days ahead. I was looking at the details um, right before hopping on here, and a couple of things that stand out. One of which I talked about last night, and and also, you know, um, we'll even talk about as well. How much we received in snow. I've not been outside yet. I plan on taking the Snowmageddon selfie um, later on after I hop off here. Um, so with all that being said, live chat is open. If you guys want to say hi on there, let me do something real quick. Um, if you guys want to hop on here, I see some people watching. So let's go ahead and let's go to some information that Paducah has sent. Let's go ahead and pull up here. First and foremost, the map has changed a little bit. Now, all of this information can be found on Paducah's website. So, right now, we still have a winter storm warning. That's still in effect until 6 o'clock. And then on the backside of it, you can actually see the extreme cold warning for the St. Louis metro area, Salem, Nashville, Centralia, Metro East. So you can see that extreme cold warning. And even we got a few counties in Kentucky, Hopkinsville being one of them, where they're having an ice storm warning down there. So, um, so we've got, it's not just a sea of pink in the region that we are seeing here. Now we're starting to see some purple and some blue into the picture. If you remember from the stream yesterday, it was just a sea of pink. It was pink all over, but now a couple of different colors have entered. So again, winter storm warning, Wayne County, Jefferson County. I would not be surprised if the extreme cold warning were to be extended, if it was to be pushed over to the east in this general direction. We'll go to the next slide here. So this was issued by Paducah at 1:45 this afternoon. And so I'm going to read to you what it says. Winter storm warning remains in effect until 6 o'clock this evening. Additional snow accumulations up to 1 inch. This is for all of southern Illinois, southwest Indiana, western Kentucky, southeast Missouri. Again, this is until 6 o'clock this evening. Currently, travel is very difficult and impossible in many locations. Life-threatening cold exacerbates the danger. And as a precautionary preparedness action, persons should delay all travel if possible. If, and that's the big word if, all in capital letters, if travel is absolutely necessary, drive with extreme caution and be prepared for sudden changes in visibility. We do have some blowing snow out there. Leave plenty of room between you and the motorist ahead of you. Allow extra time to reach your destination. Avoid sudden braking or acceleration, and be especially cautious on hills or when making turns. Make sure your car is winterized and in good working order. So that came out at 1:45, just a little over an hour ago, from the National Weather Service in Paducah. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide here. So this is the 2 p.m. Winter storm update. We'll take a look at the latest radar in a moment, but we talked about driving here. And again, obviously, they're saying that, hey, we don't want you guys to be out in this. I did see a truck go up and down the road here. I saw a couple of side-by-sides and a four-wheeler earlier on my street. So if again, all big capital letters, if you have to be out, don't use cruise control. Turn off your cruise control when driving on any slippery road surface. Increase the distance. We talked about that. Use extra caution. bridges, overpasses, intersections, shaded areas always pose additional driving risk. Four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, safety enhancements on vehicles will help but not prevent accidents. No quick motions as well. Accelerate, decelerate, and brake slowly rather than using quick maneuvers to reduce skidding and sliding. Stay in your lane. And again, no distractions. As I always say, patience, patience, patience here. But I'm going to also talk about a message from the Wayne County Sheriff's Office. Again, please do not travel today unless absolutely necessary. The county roads are all snow covered, many with significant drifting. In addition to the snowfall area, will continue to experience dangerously cold temperatures through today and tomorrow. We'll take a look at that in a moment. The Wayne County Highway Department, Illinois Department of Transportation, Rural Road Commissioners, and many more are working around the clock, to get the roads open and passable. Please stay home and let them do the work. If you are out and encounter a snowplow, please give them space. Thank you to all the men and women working through this winter storm. Please be safe and stay warm. That's according to Sheriff Chris Odie. So that is a message in the Wayne County Sheriff's Office. I actually shared it on my Facebook page. You guys could also share it as well. But again, please do not travel today unless absolutely necessary. All right. So we have that. Let's go ahead and go here. I'm going to change the slide here. And one of the things that we had talked about, we're also, by the way, underneath, and my mistake on that, we're also underneath an extreme cold warning late tonight through 10 a.m. Tuesday. As you can see right there, the blue. We also have the light, kind of like the teal color, I guess you would say, which would be a cold weather advisory, and then the extreme cold warning. Wind chills are forecast to range from 5 degrees below zero to 5 degrees through this evening. Wind chills will then range from 5 degrees below zero to 20 degrees below zero late tonight through Tuesday morning. We'll take a look at the Fairfield area weather forecast for that coming up later on. We talked about the dangerous wind chills. As you can see, Mount Vernon, which would be Mount Vernon, Illinois, right there. For contrast, high of 12 tomorrow, and then 6 degrees below zero, and then 27 for the high on Tuesday, and then 3 for the low Tuesday night. And Tuesday, ironically, will still be cold, but that will be the warmest day of the week by far. As we look at Mount Vernon, Illinois again, for the wind chill values, which I'm using Mount Vernon, Illinois as a reference here for our area, for the Fairfield area especially. But if you look at midnight, 14 degrees below zero, 20 degrees below zero, 6 a.m. Monday tomorrow, 15 degrees below zero at 9 a.m. So this is why I say keep the faucets dripping, open up those cabinet doors, because it is going to be cold. As we look at the weather forecast, again, we are seeing the tail end of the winter storm. But again, tonight could be blustery. Again, a low around 8 degrees below zero. Wind chill values as low as 19 degrees below zero. Winds gusting as high as 22 miles per. Monday, sunny, high of 11. Wind chill values as low as 22 degrees below zero. Monday night, fair with a low around 1 degree below zero. Wind chill values as low as 13 degrees below zero. Winds could gust as high as 23 miles per hour. Then Tuesday, as I talked about, mostly sunny with a high of 26. And then Tuesday night, clear with a low of 7 degrees below zero. Then Wednesday, mostly sunny, high of 21. And it goes on down from there. Let's go ahead here. One of the things that we're going to be looking at here is the weather radar. And I do have that pulled up for you. And as we look here at the radar, I tell you what, it's interesting how all this is. So right now at the moment, we're going to zoom in. So I'm going to do a little drawing here for you. This is out of the Evansville radar site. So this is Fairfield right here. Fairfield, pretty much the snow has left you. Right now we got bands of snow. Evansville, you're right here. Let's say New Harmony, Poseyville, you guys are right here. And Carmi is right here. So the back side of it is already leaving Albion. There's Mount Carmel. Mount Carmel is still getting some snow right now at the moment, but it's almost done with you guys. Set this in motion here All of it has been mainly moving due east. If you recall in yesterday's live stream, we talked about the snow that was over in Arkansas. We talked about how that second wave of snow was moving on its way up here, and we saw that. Let me go ahead and stop it here. What we're going to do is we're going to do a time lapse here, and I'm going to use the Evansville radar site just to do a time lapse of this. And we're going to go back 250 frames, which is quite a bit. It's going to take a little time to load, but we're going to take a look at this here and see what it all looks like. We're going to kind of zoom out here and show you the big picture of this, because that way you guys can see how all of this materialized, several hours away. And I always find this to be fascinating stuff, because I've always liked how you could see the animation, you can see how things develop, how they arrived, what they did, in your area and region, and then like kind of seeing on its way out, kind of seeing that progression, if you will. And so let's take a look at it here. Then we're going to take a look at what's happening down south, because what's happening down to our south, well, this is loading, and this is 250 frames, and I'll tell you what time it starts as I'm keeping my eye on it. Time right now is what, 3:11? So we're going to be seeing this here before long. It's taking some time to load because it's going through so many frames, as it's kind of like, again, stamped in time from a certain point. But this is it's almost done loading here, by the way, so I'm actually seeing it on the screen at the top. But Fairfield right now, snow is on its way out. It's kind of blowing around a little bit, but pretty much with the winter storm warning, it's going to be ending at 6 o'clock. I do expect it to end at that time. I don't expect it to be like, lengthened, like in terms of I don't see it being extended here. It's going to end right at 6, but again, this is where we're still going to be seeing the lingering effects after that, especially with the cold. Okay, so this is at 3 o'clock. This is about a day, an hour's time, so you can actually see there's a heavier snow coming in. Look at that. There it is right there. There's all that snow, the heavy snow and everything. You see it on its way out. So we saw that second wave, if you will. This is at 11 o'clock right now. Then we see another pocket kind of form. And there it is. We'll play it back again. And this time I'm going to zoom in a little bit more on this, so you guys have a little bit better picture. So here's Fairfield right here for context. So this is a time lapse of pretty much a 24-hour span of what this looked like. And then this is today with that thin band that just happened. So about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. And then this is where that snow was coming up out of Arkansas, and you kind of see it right there. There it is overnight. So it's actually pretty neat how it all formed. So that's what it was doing. So that is a 24-hour span of what we experienced here in Fairfield. So I'll say this one more time. This is 6 o'clock right now, 7 o'clock last night. This is 9 o'clock here. This is 11 o'clock. And this is 1 a.m. This is 3 a.m. This is 5 o'clock this morning. This is 8 o'clock. This is 10 o'clock. 12 noon today. And then you actually see how we had that thin band form. So that is where we're at right now. So again, Fairfield, you're right here. Again, you got a little bit of blowing snow, but again, this snow right here, moving east, it's moving out of our area and region. Again, I do not see them extending the winter storm warning. It's going to end at 6. I want to show you guys something here. We're going to go down to the south for a little bit. If you recall yesterday about Florida right now it's in the 80s down here. So we're talking 81, Fort Lauderdale area. Naples, we're talking 80. Tampa, we're talking 80. It's 80s in Florida. You go up here a little bit, and we're going to go to the Ozark, Alabama radar site. They're experiencing severe weather. And you can actually see the contrast here as, let me do something real quick here. That is definitely not the right amount of frames. But as you can see, they're dealing with severe weather down to our south. As right now, let's see. Troy, Alabama, it's 54. Valdosta, Georgia, it's 73. 19-degree temperature difference. And this line of storms is coming through. There's Tallahassee radar site. May have a little bit of a better shot of the line of severe weather. So it's moving right through Albany right now. Albany, Georgia, moving its way into the Florida Panhandle. And by the way, those are severe thunderstorm warnings. There was even a couple of tornado warnings associated with this earlier. So that's what the southeastern U.S. is experiencing. We still have right here the freezing rain line. If you recall yesterday in the live stream, we actually had it over in Kentucky area. That's no longer the case right there. So as we go around the horn, Evansville radar site, again, we're seeing that snow move out. Springfield, Missouri radar, nothing to be worried about. St. Louis area, looking to the west there, nothing at all. Kansas City radar site, nothing to our west. Paducah, nothing really at all either. So, but again, this is the last of the snow for us today. Live chat open, by the way. You guys want to say hi. But as I show you guys the radar saying that, hey, this is on its way out. Now, one of the things about, if there is a positive to all this, and I want to go back here to the forecast as we take a look at this. One of the things that I see here, and I know that it's going to be bitter cold. This is going to be one of the lingering effects after the winter storm. But one of the things that stands out to me is if you look closely, after today, there's no mention of any more snow. There's no mention of any, ice and sleet and freezing rain. There's none of that. It will be bitter cold still. But this is actually a silver lining to all this, is that we will have several days of snow-free weather. And whenever I look at this here, I'm going to look at the weather forecast on my phone. I'm going to look at extended weather forecast. But I will say at the moment that our next day, in terms of being above, let's say 32 degrees, at this point, looks to be Tuesday, February the 3rd. They're calling for a high of 33, but also we have a 50% chance of snow. But again, that is so far away, and that could change. And they're saying snow accumulation is less than 1 inch. And that is actually about a 50% chance of snow. I've also seen 30s here from February the 4th through February the 8th. So that's as far as I can go here with this. So, therefore, it's going to be several days until we will see high temperatures being in the 30s once again. So obviously, still stay warm and bundled up. Again, according to the Wayne County Sheriff's Office, again, please do not travel today unless absolutely necessary. The county roads are all snow covered, many with significant drifting. In addition to the snowfall, again, the area will continue to experience dangerously cold temperatures through today and tomorrow. Wayne County Highway Department, Illinois Department of Transportation, rural road commissioners, and many more are working around the clock to get the roads open and passable. Again, please stay home. Let them do their work. If you are out and you encounter a snowplow, please give them space. Thank you to all of our men and women working through this winter storm. Please be safe and stay warm. So that is according to Sheriff Chris Odie, the Wayne County Sheriff's Office. And so, again, before I wrap this up, shout out to all the road and snow crews working round the clock, trying to clear off the roads, the streets, the parking lots, everything. You guys are to be commended for. Going to be going outside in a little bit, taking a Snowmageddon selfie. So I'm also going to be doing some cooking as well here. I've got my crock pot ready to go. Going to be cooking up some food and all that. So guys, again, be safe, stay warm, keep the faucets dripping, keep opening up those cabinet doors. I will tell you this right now. This was a winter storm that the forecasters, people at the National Weather Service, really were on target with this one. You could see why, again, going before the storm hit, you could see why they were using what I call, again, the strong language, saying, hey, this is going to dump about, 8 to 12 inches of snow. There's going to be 2 waves of it. And I tell you what, they were right on the money with the forecast of this winter storm. I do think, though, as I mentioned in my live stream yesterday, I think the first wave hit a little bit earlier than expected. But again, several inches of snow has fallen in the Fairfield area. And so this was a storm that, as we're going to look back on 2026, this is the first significant weather event we've seen. And folks, it's still January, all right? We're not even in February yet. We're not even in April and all those months yet. But if there was a top 10 weather story for 2026, it's this one. And if you look at recent winter storms, this one in recent history, modern history, this one's going to be at least top 5 for sure, just based on what we saw. I do think last year's January snowstorms have a place there. But I think this right here, this storm and what it's done in terms of the snowfall that we've seen, it has really made road conditions be impassable. It's this drifting of the snow, seen the photos online just of the snow drifts. And it's incredible with what it's done there with the wind and everything. And then you have the bitter cold temperatures. No doubt about it. This is a significant major winter snowstorm that's came and it's on its way out. And so, with all that being said here, guys, this, no doubt about it, this was a beast of a winter storm. So, all right, guys, well, thanks for watching here in the live stream. Not nearly as long yesterday. I went over 40 minutes yesterday, but wrapping it up here. Stay safe and stay warm. And, again, keep it on the weather forecast. Keep an eye on local media. For those of you that are watching or maybe watching this archive later on, all IECC campuses are closed tomorrow. Frontier, Wabash Valley, Alney, and Lincoln Trail. All the campuses are closed tomorrow. Keep an eye on that. And again, we'll keep cranking out the information about if there's any more closures following Monday. So